This is the Pima Air Museum just outside of Tucson, Arizona, a fascinating collection of vintage aircraft. And you know, there's a car company that will tell you that its cars are inspired by airplanes just like these. Hello everybody and welcome to Motoring 98. Now that car company of course is Saab, and to mark its 51st year of production, Saab is renaming its 900 the 9.3 and replacing the 9000 with the 9.5. Now while an engineering success, the 9000 was a big disappointment in the all-important sales column. Many believed it wasn't truly a Saab. So the question that we're trying to find an answer to this week is the 9.5 a full-blooded Saab, and can it bring people back into the showroom?
The VIP treatment in full.
Saabs have always been for individualists, a little quirky, never conventional. But things began to change in the late 80s with the introduction of the 9000, a joint effort by Saab and Fiat. The car hardly stood out in a crowd. Then 50% of Saab was sold to General Motors, a company that cannot be accused of being a nonconformist. The result? Saabs began to blend into the crowd, and the 9000 suffered the most.
To me, it's a great marketing mystery, Brad, to be honest with you, because driving the car, it is the most fun car I've ever driven. It really is. In its class, it's competitive, but I don't know if it was the hatchback design of it or perhaps pricing that was out of line. It just never caught on in the U.S. to the degree we hoped, and the same in Canada, really. It just didn't penetrate the market. However, we really think we've corrected it with the 9.5. When you look at the styling of the vehicle, it's just a much more attractive vehicle than the 9000 was.
The man responsible for the 9.5 is Einar Horeide, Saab's chief designer, who loves planes as much as cars.
I love airplanes. I think they are such a tremendous example of beautiful technology. Airplanes are optimized aerodynamic vehicles, and it really shows on them. They're absolutely beautiful.
Horeide says you don't have to look any further than the windshield of the 9.5 to see the aircraft influence.
We think the windshield is the most important instrument in the car, because that's where you get all the information, important information. You see old ladies crossing the road, children, whatever, playing. And one part of this aircraft heritage is that we want to filter out all information that is not necessary for the ultimate driving experience. That's why we also have the night panel, where we can turn off all dials which are not necessary for the driving experience.
The 9.5 comes with two engine choices, a 2.3-liter 4 with light pressure turbo that pumps out 170 horsepower, or a 200 horsepower V6.
There isn't a great deal on paper of difference between the two engines when you look at the numbers. The 4 does a very good job. The 6 probably should have more power for what it is. People who buy Saabs generally, I think, are more interested in their vehicles than the average car driver and owner. There's a strong performance factor with them as well, and that's why I think a performance version of the 9.5 should come along in a hurry to help that.
Volvo has always owned bragging rights when it comes to safety. Saab plans to change that.
We have not really promoted and told our customers how safe our cars are. But recently research and also all the ratings that comes out has proven that we do have the safest car in Sweden. And as soon as you drive the car, you will notice that a safe car does not have to be boring at all.
In Europe, the 9.5 is selling well, but the bread and butter is in North America.
North America, we have to get up to about 40,000 units in total, and the 9.5 will probably be about 15,000 of that, versus selling about 5,000, 9,000. So yeah, we have a lot of growth.
They have to catch on with the 9.5, and my feeling is that the sooner we get the station wagon version in Canada, the better, because as there's no longer a hatchback, people want that practicality. Volvo's running away with the upscale station wagon market. Audi's going to have one too. So I think it's important for Saab.
We do have a Saab wagon coming next spring, and it's also, I guarantee you, probably one of the prettiest wagons that'll be on the market. It's very attractive. Well, we definitely feel the 9.5 is 100% of Saab essence. But we're extremely confident in the vehicle, and we've just gotten such good press on the car and good results from customers in Europe that we think we've done our job.
So this week we've met some of the people who inspired the new Saab 9.5, and Graham Fletcher will be doing a more in-depth analysis on a future test drive. As for me, well, I've had limited time behind the wheel, but first impressions, I like it. It drives and it feels like a Saab, and that is critical. But you know, drivability has never been a problem for Saab. The challenge is to see if this car can get your attention, something the old 9000 didn't do very well. And oh yes, 9.3 and 9.5, just numbers, no hidden meaning. Well, that's it for now, but we'll see you next week as we continue to bring you more stories about cars and the people who drive them.